gentlemen, let's join our hands together in welcoming Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev Ji. Big round of applause. Thank you, Sadhguru Ji, for taking out time for this session. It's a great honor for all of us to have you with us, Sadhguru Ji.
Yogana, Yogana, Yogi.
Good evening, Sadhguru Ji. Namaskaram and a very warm welcome. Sadhguru Ji, as part of Emerging Business Forum, we have been traveling to major MSME clusters of India to address the challenges faced by small businesses. And today is a big day for us. We are honored and highly privileged to have you with us. Thank you, Sadhguru Ji. Sadhguru Ji will be hand-holding all of you and exploring the growth path. So without further ado, let's begin the proceedings. Sadhguru Ji, the micro, small and medium enterprises are considered to be the backbone of the Indian economy. Their contribution is immense on many, many fronts. We would like to know your thoughts on MSMEs. Could these small businesses drive the Indian economy in the days to come?
In terms of workforce, in terms of whatever may be happening in the international economic situation, one engine that keeps running in the country is the SME sector, which is always buzzing, irrespective of what's happening elsewhere. Or in other words, largely insulated from the external variations that happen which could affect the country. The larger corporations are hugely hit by these variations, but SMEs keep buzzing, which is very, very important that we have these two layers of industry, we have these two layers of businesses going on. I feel myself being at one time running an SME long time ago.
Okay. In which year?
Late 70s. So, one thing I found was, in India, there is a very cruel financial situation when it comes to the SMEs. They have to prove that they're successful before they start which is unfortunately expected from the financial institutions. I think easing this situation, I think from what I know, many SMEs have closed down mainly because there is no healthy, active financial support for them. And there's no place to fall back. When small things go wrong, the entire thing goes wrong, simply because there is no financial elbow to make that elbow room is missing for them to recover from that.
Our theme for this series has been Make in India. We would just like to know you interact with top political leaders, economic leaders around the world. What is the feedback you get on the India story?
Outside the country, the India story is doing great. Inside the country, it is…
Okay. Outside it's doing great.
Outside it's doing great. Anybody who thinks in whatever, a year and a half, suddenly Make in India will become a big success, obviously don't know how a nation runs, obviously do not know how an industry is built, obviously do not know anything about the business situation. In 18 months, you can't make in India everything. You can make a policy. It is for the people to take it up and make it a success. I would say you must give it 8 to 10 years before you make a judgment on that. I feel the necessary policy is done. Indian people, if the necessary policy facilitation happens, the people of India will make it a success. I'm 100% sure of that.
Right. Meaning we are on the right path?
We are, but our path is full of potholes as usual. We have to fix it. A nation like India, as diverse and as large as India is, it can't be fixed overnight. We should stop such fanciful things. First of all, what I see is, unfortunately, the kind of lies and the kind of exaggeration that you speak at the election time is happening throughout the 5 years. No, those last 2 months you speak all kinds of rhetoric just to win an election, it's okay, I will allow that margin for you. But the rest of the 5 years, we must talk sense.
Yeah.
We should not talk unrealistic things.
Once we were growing, we were told that if you have money, money makes money. Our series has been there to promote entrepreneurship, to boost entrepreneurship in the country. But nowadays it feels like if you have an idea, you have vision, you can take risk, then you can go miles. Is this assessment right?
See, this money makes money business comes from a capitalistic era. I feel in India, we need to facilitate finance in a big way. Still money is not as available as it should be, because one thing is, I don't know, most of the SMEs must be paying over 18% and doing business. Anybody who pays over 18% interest and successfully does business is a magician.
Yeah.
Yes, as far as the rest of the world is concerned, you are magical, really. But in India, most people are doing business, paying over 15 to 18% and doing it successfully, which is enormous prudence as to how to do business. If only you create an easier playing field. If, like in United States, it's 2% for an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Okay? 2% interest. 2% interest, if you give it to all these people will multiply 100 times in a matter of few years, I'm sure.
Wonderful. So, we'll just try and get some views from the floor and then we'll go ahead. It's from Mr. Rakesh Mehta. Mr. Rakesh Mehta, yeah, please stand up. He says, how can we be joyful even while have business tension? Okay.
Someone, just 3 days ago, they came and asked me, Sadhguru, my job is too much tension, I can't bear it. So I blessed him, may you be fired. He said, no, Sadhguru. I said, what? What's the problem? If you have a job, you're suffering it. If you lose your job, you suffer it. So you better look at it, this is not about the job. Right now, we need to understand this. Your tension, your stressfulness has nothing to do with the job or the work or the business situation that you're conducting. It is your inability to manage your own mind, your body, your chemistry, your energies. You're not able to manage this human mechanism. Because there is friction within, every job seems to be stressful. You just look at the world, any kind of job people are complaining they're stressful, isn't it? See, if people are poor, they suffer poverty. You make them rich, they suffer taxes. If they're not educated, they suffer that. Put them to school, endless suffering. If they're not married, they suffer that. Get them married. I won't say anything. So this is not because there is something wrong with your life situation. Your inability to manage this.
Next question is from Madam Rama Devi. You want to ask something? Yeah, please go ahead, ma'am.
I am from an MSME sector, that's small and medium enterprises. Many of our industries, we are trying to be get into lean manufacturing to be competitive in this market. But what's happening, the rate of interest, what we are paying is 14.5% to the banks. So this is killing our competitiveness.
I know you would welcome a rate cut, but you know Reserve Bank cuts rate 0.25% at a time, because there are she's laughing because it's a joke, because it doesn't affect you anyway. But there are other larger fiscal issues. If you suddenly cut the interest rate, many other imbalances will happen, which the economy will become unstable and choppy. So they cannot cut the interest rate, they can work towards it.
Before we take the next question, Sadhguru, one observation. Once we traveled across the country, we picked up one success story in each city, and there were some entrepreneurs who were doing very well, but somehow they were not that much qualified. So they were school dropouts, but they have done really well. So is qualification required to be a successful entrepreneur, or even without that, entrepreneurs have done wonders?
Being a dropout is a qualification.
Okay.
Because we need to understand this. Enterprise involves many things. Individual flair, opportunity, the times in which we are, and the region in which we are placed, many things. It is not because of any one factor that an entrepreneur just bursts out. There are many factors. So one important thing that needs to happen is, in our education system, instead of simply studying chemistry, physics, biology, which most people never make use of, there has to be, in high school level, there has to be something about enterprise. business education must come at high school level, not at some other level when individual people have gone out of their own capabilities. We have not created an ecosystem of business because still most people in the country have not understood that well-being will come to us not because of success of military machines or popular politics, it will only come to us when our businesses succeed. This has not sank into us deep enough yet. We have to bring business education into high school level. Children must be exposed and they must know there is a possibility of entering business and doing their own business.
Next question is from Vikram, Aditya and Narayan.
You said that we make money and we lose money. What happens when one loses values?
I feel you said you make money and you lose money. My intention is you should not lose money. You must make money and invest money so that it works for everybody's well-being. Because you can't eat money, you can only invest it and make it grow so that the well-being that you enjoyed reaches as many people as possible. When you talk about values, I don't think business should depend on values. We must have clear, unambiguous laws which are 100% enforceable. You should not leave the playing field of business to individual values. Each person will have his own value and they also know how to subvert their values whenever it is necessary. Our laws should be so clear-cut, unambiguous and enforceable, there is no room. It must be very clear in this country what is right in your business, what is wrong in your business. It should not be left to you or me to make the decision.
Sadhguruji also meet industry stalwarts, corporate biggies, and these big corporates are also SMEs at one time. What is that these small businesses can learn from them? And what is that they should not learn?
Just 4 days ago, Narayan Murthy, who started as a small entrepreneur, who is today a name that the entire world respects, was with us in a conference. And he was sharing a few things. I will take the liberty of saying what he said. When people asked him, when he chose his partners, which is an important part of the business, the other 6 or 7 people that he added to his business, they were 12 years junior to him. But when we took them as partners, though the company was not very big and he had a vision to make it big, that's different, he gave them 15% each stocks. People said, "You're crazy. They're 12 years junior, most of them have only 1 year experience in software industry and you're giving them 15% stock." He said, "It doesn't matter because I'm not doing this for money. I want 100% of their involvement. They should not be thinking of anything other than making this into a success." And for him it paid off, because it is better to own 15% of 50,000 crores than own 100% of 5 crores. And above all, it is most important that people who are working with us are willing to throw their lives into it.
Do you believe in God? Yes or no?
What I know, I know. What I do not know, I do not know. I don't fancy in believing anything for that matter.
How many hours do you sleep in a day?
Normally I've managed for almost 25–30 years with 2.5 to 3 hours of sleep. These days I'm getting a bit lazy and sleeping 4–4.5 hours.
Do you prefer eating light food?
No, I eat very heavy. I eat only once a day and eat very heavy.
I've also prepared some rapid-fire questions for you. If you allow, we'll just like you to reply in yes or no, or maybe 10 seconds, a few words on that, and take a few questions from the floor. Just before that, one more question. Like you were talking about SMEs growing, it is also seen that the bigger the corporate, the bigger tensions they have, more anxiety. In fact, they lose their happiness also at times. So, what is that, how SMEs should actually plan their path ahead?
See, as you're building your business, you must also build yourself. It's very important. Let me tell you, put it this way. If you take charge of your physical self, if you have mastery over your physical body, 15 to 20% of your life and destiny will be in your hands. If you take charge of your mind, 50 to 60% of your life and destiny will be in your hands. If you take charge of the fundamental life energies within you, 100% of your life and destiny will be in your hands. When you say, I'm an entrepreneur, this is the first thing you should do, that you need to spend time upon yourself. We can offer you a powerful process called inner engineering, that you engineer yourself into a way, but no matter what is the situation, how you are will not change.
Great. Sadhguruji, now the rapid fire. Are you ready? Let's begin.
You're
First
going to
question
shoot at them or me?
to you,
Oh.
Sadhguruji. First question. Do you believe in God? Yes or no?
What I know, I know. What I do not know, I do not know. I don't fancy in believing anything for that matter.
Next question. How many hours do you sleep in a day?
Normally I've managed for almost 25–30 years with 2.5 to 3 hours of sleep. These days I'm getting a bit lazy and sleeping 4.5 hours.
Okay, great. Do you prefer eating light food?
No, I eat very heavy. I eat only once a day and eat very heavy.
Okay, great. Did you
At least one meal I want to eat the way I want to eat.
Wonderful. Sadhguruji, did you ever had a role model in life?
No, I never roll with models.
Sadhguruji, when was the last time you got angry?
See, I made myself like this, that nothing within me ever happens without my permission. If you want me to get angry, I can get angry right now. But can you get me angry? Never.
Okay. Do you prefer to drive a bike or to fly a plane?
An airplane is faster
Okay, great.
and the sky is big.
Right, Sadhguruji. Thank you for this rapid fire. Now we'll just take a few more questions from the floor. Yeah.
Sadhguru, in one of your discourses, I heard you saying that a guru is like a compass. It tells the direction, and that reminds me to ask you that in yesteryears, India was known as Sone ki Chidiya. When we are all talking about the new government doing so well, with the Make in India happening, with Digital India, Skill India, and everything being gradually put in place, does your compass find that the India will regain its position of Sone ki Chidiya ever?
Now, there are two ways to look at life, there are two ways to look at future. Some people are looking for predictions. Some are planning and seeing how to fulfill the plan. Do you want a plan or a prediction? Now, those who are incapable of a plan always go to the astrologer for a prediction. As entrepreneurs, as people who are heading important institutions in the country, I want you to have a clear-cut plan and strive to fulfill that plan. If all of us strive to fulfill that plan that we are right now making, is in the making somehow, definitely we will be there.
In one of your speeches, you have said that human body is like computer and yoga is its password. Would you like to elaborate? Thank you.
See, you you have to admit, whatever many of you may be manufacturing or operating, you have to admit, this human mechanism is the most complex and sophisticated machine that you have seen. Yes or no? On this planet, this is the most sophisticated machine. This is the highest technology piece that you have seen. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
I'm asking you, have you read the user's manual? Somehow our education systems, the modern education systems think that by teaching you about amoeba, about teaching you about the cosmos, about teaching you about the solar system, not teaching you anything about how this one functions from within, you are going to become a great human being. No, You have to know how this one functions. Only then you will dare to go into any situation without fear or favor. If you can make yourself like this, that you being peaceful and joyful is not subject to anything outside of you. You are joyful by your own nature. That means you have no fear of suffering. Only when there is no fear of suffering, you will walk your life full stride. Otherwise, every step is only half a step.
Thank you, Sadhguruji. Thank you very much for your time. This is one session I feel I'll always remember, and I hope those who have participated would agree with me. It has enriched us in many, many ways. Sadhguruji, before we say final thank you to you, just 3 things that the Indian MSMEs should do moving forward.
Oh.
Message from you. 3 things.
You must grow and grow and grow.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all of you for whatever you have achieved and bless you for the future success of your businesses. In the success of your business is the success of this nation. Please keep that in your mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sadhguruji. Thank you very much. Thank you.